Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular meeting. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order, and thank you for all that are in attendance and family members and presenters. We're glad you're here tonight. We're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond,
Present.
Director Kelly,
Here.
Director Watts,
Present.
President Levesque,
Here.
Director Knapp,
Present.
Student Advisor Nichols.
Here.
Student Advisor Reed. Superintendent Sweet.
Here. Thank you. Next up, we'll have our approval of our regular meeting agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change on the agenda for tonight, or do we have a motion?
Motion to approve meeting agenda for tonight.
Second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the meeting agenda for tonight. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Knapp.
Yes. Thank you. The agenda is approved as presented. And that brings us to the next portion of our meeting where we get to have a presentation. We're so excited to welcome our Haller Middle School students. They're going to be presenting a leadership overview and a presentation of We Are the Future. I'd like to welcome Brooke Howell, our principal of Haller Middle School, and our ASB advisor, Rachel Harrington, and students. Let's see if everybody's here. Michaela Harrington, Robert Torrey, Chase Hall, Bella Cesardina. Is that close?
Regarding
Oh, that's much prettier. Okay. Tegan Maurice
here.
and Selena Rodriguez. Did we get everybody? Okay.
So
We're so excited.
this is our leadership class, Rachel Harrington, who is brand new to leadership and is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. Our little assemblies look like little mini high school assemblies, and they are a lot of fun. The students are loving them. These are 6 of our finest. This is our board. I guess you'd call them our board. What do you guys call it?
Executive Council.
Executive Council. They stand out in many, many ways, just from being Rotary students to being athletes, leadership, competing in contests. They're just constantly around and about doing fabulous things. I can't wait for them to go. Well, I can wait. I'm really sad they're going to leave and go to the high school. But they have a presentation really to talk about their future, which is sort of exciting to see what they're all looking forward to in life. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms.
I
Harrington.
stole some of what I was going to say with
Sorry.
this. No, it's great. It's awesome. Thank you for having us. Again, my name is Rachel Harrington, and I have the honor and privilege of getting to teach at Haller Middle School. I teach science and yearbook, and this year I took on leadership, and it's been just such a blessing to work alongside these guys. What's unique about leadership is that it is truly a student-generated class, and I'm really cognizant when I plan my instruction to make sure that the ideas are driven by the students. They come up with the ideas, they plan the ideas, they organize the ideas, they execute the ideas, and then of course they reflect at the end on their ideas. And I couldn't have a better group of students to work with. So this presentation is no exception to that rule. I came to them and said, hey, we got to present to the board. What do you guys want to present on? They generated ideas, and they came up with the idea of giving you a little snapshot real quick of what we do in leadership, and then really presenting about that they are the future. And we thought it'd be really cool because, you know, you guys are behind the scenes. You're working to make sure that we have the resources we need in classes. We have opportunities for students to be successful. We have advanced level classes to challenge our students. And so they're going to talk about what they have experienced in Arlington Public Schools so far, the opportunities you have presented to them that they've capitalized on, what they're going to experience in high school, hopefully, and then beyond high school, and ultimately where they're going to be in life. And that's all in thanks to you guys and what you're doing to help provide opportunities for them. So without, I'm also supposed to tell you that they are dressed in their future careers. So as they're talking, you might be able to guess a little bit about what they are going to be. And they were already introduced, so I think I'm going to step to the side and let them take over. Okay. Here we go, and I think I'm giving it over to Michaela.
Yeah, so in leadership is a elective class that you can take. We are usually run it, and what we do is we have like around 30 students, and what we do is we split them up into groups and we lead them. We have lots of projects. One of our projects is actually Spirit Assemblies. I love this one because we get to playing games like what's one of our games? Like trivia against the teachers, dodgeball. We have a hype team to hype up the crowd. We also do skits for to introduce our mascot. We once did the Super Bowl Kendrick Lamar halftime show. So yeah.
Yeah, another thing we also have for leadership, we organize charity drives. I personally helped with one of these, and our most recent one was for Kids Closet, where we raised over $300, and we also collected over 1,700 items to charity to help our community. And this was very beneficial to our community and to just teaching the leadership kids what it's like to help the people that you are around daily.
So in executive council, we also get to plan hootenannies and spirit weeks. So one of those is an after school hangout, which kids have the opportunity to hang out after school, play games, do fun activities with their friends. We also did a haunted house for Halloween. We had kids get chased around the halls for a special activity. Robbie actually planned that. Good job, Robbie. And it was really fun to see all the kids scream and have a good time. We also do themed spirit weeks where kids can, one of the days was Twin Tuesday, anything but a backpack day, or you can dress in all pink, fun opportunities that we get to choose.
And then an event that we host, we've actually started doing this, I think last year, is that we have to keep kids like involved in school is we host a talent show. Our talent show this year is May 2nd, and we had 38 acts sign up. So since we had so many acts, we do have to have like an audition kind of thing for each act because we can only have between 14 and 15 because we've had so little time in our assemblies. So each act will go through an audition process where leadership students that are hosting like in the groups with the talent show, we will be like auditioning them through a rubric of anything between their presentation and confidence to their originality and creativity in it. And the leadership kids are also running the event also.
Our hallways, we try to keep them decorated throughout the year, especially during the holidays, to be festive. These decorations, we try to make more welcoming and keep it like a festive school environment to bring our school community together. For example, during Halloween, our halls were filled with ghosts, spider webs, pumpkins to make our school feel more vibrant and connected. We also held a door decorating contest around Christmas time, and everyone got to pick like different themes of Christmas. And it was a fun way to showcase teamwork, school spirit, and creativity, and everyone contributed to a positive school environment.
So as we approach testing season, some of these kids are starting to get down on themselves or stressed out about school or just maybe some outside stuff outside of school. So we've been writing these little notes to the students, just thanking them for being such great kids and talking about how Hallard, it wouldn't be special without them. The goal is kind of lift their spirits and to maybe bring some light into whatever they might be going through. We just started these little newspaper articles that we're putting in the bathrooms to try to get, once again, like positivity up and to get kids from doing stuff like vandalism or other negative activities and to maybe have something to read while they do their business. I guess. We have athletic posters to encourage kids to participate in our school sports. This year, I think is the first year that I witnessed that the school sports were very like under signed that kids didn't sign up for them. So the goal is to add these posters that have their names on them to like, oh, they're special. They get to have their name, and it's cool to see your name in the hallways as you're walking through. And then, as you guys know, our teachers are not appreciated enough as they should be. It's a very difficult job that I certainly wouldn't want. It's very time consuming. So our goal for Teacher Appreciation Week is to kind of shine light on how much work they do for us and to try and encourage kids to bring their teacher stuff or just maybe be nice to them, a little more nice for an extra week to show our appreciation. I think it's Tegan's turn.
Yes, it is. Okay, so some like leadership experiences in my life that I personally had in my past is being an older sibling. In my personal preference, I think being an older sibling is really underlooked on a leadership opportunity for kids. Because like when you're being an older sibling, you have to really lead by example. You have to inspire your other siblings by what you do, which can be challenging in those situations. So I think that's a big one. And my second one is sports. In my past, sports have really helped me learn how to work with a team on like a positive level. Because obviously in a sport, you're gonna face really challenging, hard times. And working with a team and being very positive can really help you get to your goal and like stay dedicated. And then my third one is elementary awards. Elementary awards really helped me at a young age learn how to stay dedicated and like persevere through challenges, because obviously getting awards means you had hard times and you stuck with it and you got to your goal. And so that really helped. And then at Howler, some experiences I've had is Mars Day. And if you don't know, Mars Day is a day for sixth graders to just like, it's a full day of science where they get assigned a station. And at that station, their goal is to like get a mission success in whatever they're working on to then colonize Mars. And at these like Mars Day like stations, we have 8th grade and 7th grade leaders. And last year I was given the opportunity to be a 7th grade leader. And I thought it was gonna be really fun and easy, but it was kind of hard to keep the kids like determined on their goal. And it's hard enough to keep yourself determined, but also have to keep other people determined is hard enough too. So that really helped me learn how to get people to like inspire them really. And then sports at Howler have really helped me also with teamwork. For example, I'm on a track team. And so one of the things I do is a 4x1 relay team. And that's a big like team event. And so like if I were to give up on my team in that situation, we wouldn't be able to be like the best we could be and work as best as we could if I wasn't there. And then that really helped me with that. And then executive council and leadership also. Executive council helped me like take accountability for myself, because like I have to like stick with my team really, and it can be hard and tough sometimes because some people in your group can have different opinions than you, which can be challenging, and you really have to listen to every side that you have, because even though you are the leader, it does not mean you're gonna have the best ideas. And that really helped me with that. And Arlington High School, for my future, advanced classes can help me by like my communication skills, because in advanced classes, you're looking at a bigger picture of things. And when you're looking at a bigger picture of things, it can help you like communicate better with people because you're talking about such a big picture. You're getting so many ideas, it can help you with that. And then with DECA can help me with like real world experiences. It can help me with my presentation skills also. And then it can also help me like focus on like the little things people are saying, like what they mean on things, what like requirements, all of it. And then sports can help me, again, like before, it can help me with my teamwork, because obviously that can always get better. And then it can also help me like discipline myself, because if I need to work on something extra at home, I know that like that extra stuff at home I'm doing isn't going to waste. Obviously, I'm like, it's doing me good. And it's really helping me for like, maybe the next day after I do that extra work at home, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be more focused in on what I'm trying to do. And then Running Start can help me get like a better idea like on like how to manage my time efficiently. And it can help me really with like having so much stuff to do at once, and like Running Start, maybe advanced classes with regular classes, sports, and at home stuff, and can help me get all that stuff done at once. And then beyond, I plan on trying to get a 4-year degree at Princeton in business, which can help me like with that goal I have. It can help me stay focused and demand excellence for myself. And then I plan on trying to get an internship for a Fortune 500 company so I can get like ideas on stuff I want to do for the future and like experience. And then you couldn't tell, my job is a business owner, a CEO of my own company. And then some things I'll have to like learn how to do with being a CEO is trying to inspire people, because you know, to keep your like employees, group members in your business, or you know, in your realm stuff, like if you keep them motivated and stuff, they can work as like it helps them work as high as they can be. And then problem solving, identifying the problem in your company so then it doesn't, you know, cause things to go downhill from there. And then lead, it can help lead, knowing how to lead in a big company can help all the people in your company work the best they can be, your company's running the best it can be, and all that. And so my past experiences can help me get there.
So I just want to say thank you for all the opportunities that you guys have given me to be able to have this as my future. But past, like as Tegan said, I'm an older sister, and it's really helped me to set an example for my sister, because if I set a bad example, she will learn my ways and go down a bad hill. While if I set a good example, she will learn how to be a better person, as I showed her. Sports, it has really helped me to think of the positive side in things when I'm losing, and just to see that things can turn out for the better. At Haller, we're on executive council, and it's really helped me to communicate my feelings on things and to help communicate efficiently to people in a way that kind of makes sense. Being on the SAC Budget Advisory Task Force and ACE Committee has really helped me to prepare for job interviews in the future, as we had to interview for that, and also to speak in front of adults. Because if you hadn't known me when I was in elementary school, I was really shy. I could have not done this. I wouldn't talk to adults. So it's really helped me. I volunteer at my church coffee shop, which has helped me to show that volunteering isn't just for the people that you're helping, but for also to help you see the perspective of other people. Advanced classes has really helped me to push my work ethic and help me to strive for excellence. Being an FCA, which if you don't know is Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Haller Middle School, and a youth group leader, has really helped me to present like what I'm doing now. It's also helped me to be more bold in my faith. Sports also has helped me to set an example for others who might need help in the sport. And getting awards like the Rotary Award or RAW or SOAR Award has really helped me to set an example for others, because others see that I've gotten those awards. And so showing that striving for excellence and doing what you can will get you awards has really helped me and helped other people. At high school, I am going to hopefully get into advanced classes, which will help me to just push my work ethic even more. FCA at the high school is kind of small, and statistics show that being in a club actually boosts your grades and helps you feel more in a community. So inviting people would really help me be more bold and help other people. I want to be in the debate club, which you'll know why in a minute. I'll do Running Start, which will help me in my college and just help me with my work ethic again, and leadership to help me just become a better leader in what I do, and sports just again to help me to be a better example for others. And beyond after high school, I want to do 2 years of Running Start, then get a 4-year degree for TCU, go to law school and pass my bar exam. And I want to be a lawyer. Yeah, because I love helping others. It just makes me feel really good, and it makes other people feel. I would love to make the world more fair and advocate for justice. I'd also love to do pro bono work to help people in need. because it's shown me in my church coffee shop. I think logically, critically, and strategically from being on the task force and my committees. It's helped me to really think my thoughts through. I'm a good communicator because it helps me, like those forces or being an FCA or youth group has really helped me to say what I'm thinking in a effective way. And I love to advocate for myself and others to help other people.
Hi, my name is Chase Hall. I just want to say thank you guys for having me. So this is all the things that help shape me to become the person who I am and who I want to be in the future. In the past, so at elementary school, I got a President's Pride Award, and all the staff get to vote on who gets picked. And I got picked, and I think this really helped me boost up my confidence in who I am as a person right now. I also helped get on this thing called Green Team. It's where you volunteer, help recycle, and I think that really helped me get closer with the staff members. At Haller, I am on executive council, which helps me be a better role model to the people at the school right now so they can become better leaders too. I was also at the 7th grade spelling bee. I got into the final round, and it was really scary being up there. And as you know, when you're our age, everything gets really scary. But I learned how to shove that fear away and how to become just better and boost my self-confidence. Awards also help because you strive for those things. You don't get them handed to you. When you want something, you gotta work for it. You can't just have it get handed to you because that's not how it works. And that's what I tried to do. Mars Day, as Tegan mentioned, I got to help lead these kids and help them persevere through the hard things that happened in Mars Day. It was pretty hard out there. It was, yeah, it was hard. Civics Bee, I made it to the top 5, so I get to go to state. This happened recently. And as you probably have heard, it's really scary because 30 seconds to answer a question. A lot of these questions are really hard, and they're from all over the previous timelines in the Constitution. I also started to get into history, which you'll see why in a few minutes. And I think that really helps me shape who I am because I love history, and history can help make the world a better place. Beyond being in Student Advisory Council helps me get to work with others to share our beliefs and what we want to improve on the school district. Being an FCA leader helps me also communicate with my peers so we can work on presentations to help teach the school or the people that are in the club on how to not be afraid of things, and it just really makes me feel happy. Sports makes me improve my self-goals of being a better teammate and helps me become more closer with others. At the Arlington High School, I want to take performing arts classes for my future career. Advanced classes, I want to be pushed. I want to be pushed to strive to become better and better as a human person, a human being. The sports, I'm going to take more sports so I can become a better person, teammate, and to have more goals. I'm going to take ROTC classes. And beyond, so for my beyond, I want to attend West Point Military Academy. And my goal is to serve in the Army and become an actress, like kind of Ronald Reagan was an actor. My why. I want to serve my country and be in the military to serve my country and be a part of a team and really lead others and give back to what are the people that serve our country. It's really important to me. I also have a big personality, and I know I like to entertain people. I like to be a star. And so after Army, I feel I want to do that. After I give back to the country, I feel like I want to go to be an actress. Thank you.
So, my name is Robbie, and I'd like to thank you guys for having us here. It's an awesome opportunity. So in elementary school, I didn't do a whole lot. I got a couple of awards. I think I got an opportunity to speak with a couple of you guys in like second grade or something, like, I don't know. But, I was kind of laid low in elementary school and didn't start pursuing stuff until, middle school. So, recently, we were recent-ish invited to be a part of executive council and that whole process. I kind of was pushed into it a little bit, but, I learned, I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would have. And I really appreciated that nudge that I was given to be able to pursue this opportunity because it's done tons of things for me. It's been able to, or it's provided opportunities for me to build my leadership skills, even further. So I'm part of the HiCap program, and one of our project last year was to create a news station for, Mars Day, which is, as these guys talked about. And that was a whole process. We started in February and barely finished by our due date in May. It was time consuming, it was rigorous, but it was a success. And as those kids got a success, and so did we. So that was an awesome feeling for us. It taught me problem solving because there was a lot of stuff that went wrong throughout. And it also taught me how to work with different types of people. There was a pretty good group of us, I think about 12, and a couple of them were a little challenging to work with. And so being able to kind of push aside and try to find common ground between us was a difficult process, but it was possible and it did work. And so being able to kind of find or set aside our differences and what we think and be able to compromise was an awesome ability for us. FCA, I'm also part of FCA and I lead messages and stuff like that. We have to spend weeks on these presentations kind of like this to be able to show up and provide this information to these kids. And it's taught me a lot of like researching abilities, but also just public speaking like we're doing now. Awards, I kind of like these guys have gotten the SOAR awards, the Recognizing Achievement awards, and that's kind of that, like, it feels good to receive something, to like be noticed about our hard work. So when we are noticed, it kind of pushes me to be better, like, and to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. Sports, so I'm a baseball player, and sports have taught me a lot about my mentality. I was kind of going through a slump this last year, not doing much for my team. And every time I did, it kind of just dug me down and further. And this day, it was hot outside, I was tired, I got put in the lineup, I swung, and I got my first hit the entire season. I was super pumped, and I felt just this weight lift off my back. And it was awesome. Because once I finally got that, I knew I had proof that I could actually do it. And the rest of the season, I was hitting, I was making amazing plays, and it just kind of goes to show that, like, even when like all seems lost, our mentality can pull us through. And then building character, kind of like I touched on earlier, just all these opportunities have helped me build my leadership traits and just become a better person. Once I'm on these positions like executive council and leading, and I win these awards, it like people see that. And so I have to be mindful of what I'm doing, because if I'm doing something bad, or if I'm not respecting like my teachers or going around and breaking stuff, it shows the kids that, hey, this guy's in a high position, but he's not respecting anything. And it kind of shines light on, oh, if he's doing all this bad stuff and he's part of that, I don't want to be part of that. And I would hate to bring others down with me. So that kind of makes me push myself to like be mindful of what I'm doing, because I don't know who's watching. Once I reached high school, my goal was to pursue advanced classes. Like Chase said, I want to push myself and try to strive for excellence every chance I get. If those are working out, I'm going to push for some internships and try to observe for my future career. And like I said, we're probably going to pursue baseball and that too, to build on that mentality aspect. Beyond, I would like to internship at private film studios, little hints on my career. Online focus on courses related to filmmaking and build my portfolio over time.
You got it.
Oh, I think it, okay. So I want to be a film director when I'm older. I don't know what they were, so this is the best we got. So my why, I've always enjoyed the entertainment industry. I've loved movies, watched movies with my family. I've always enjoyed videography as well. We would make these little stupid movies on like our parents' phones with our neighbors about random stuff, but I loved it and I kind of like took a look at that and I decided to try to pursue film direction. I'm trying to inspire people through my art and get to the deeper meanings, because a lot of the times the movies that we watch have deeper underlying meanings that you can only get if you're really paying attention. Kind of goes along number 4, kind of catch on these deep philosophical ideas that I can have an entertaining movie, but also have kind of underlying themes that you can think about.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I'm Selena, and these are some things that have helped me become, or have and will help me become a better leader throughout my education. First off, we have elementary awards. Getting these awards just as an elementary schooler, I was pretty nervous, but it really showed me how hard work and determination equals success, and how even if working hard can help me become a better person and be a better leader. At Holler, I recently joined executive council and I have been through leadership the whole year. And this has taught me many things, including how to persevere to have a mission success. One of the things we worked on was Holler Hootenanny, where we had to make this haunted house, I think, from the ground up. We really worked together to figure out what we were gonna do for it and made it happen. And that was one of the things that has taught me some valuable lessons. Another thing that has helped me become a better leader is volleyball. This has taught me about teamwork and working under pressure. Even when you're down in a game and think you're going to lose, you can still work hard and just push to win. And another thing that has helped me in middle school is high cap. I know a lot of them talked about it, but from our Mars Day station, we had to build this thing from the ground up. We had to figure out what we're going to do for our station, how we're going to engage the kids, and how we're going to get a mission success. And that was really difficult, but we made it through and had a mission success. Another thing at Holler that has helped me is RAW awards. I've received many RAW and SOAR awards, and this has also taught me that practice makes progress, and when I persevere, I can make this world a better place and have a success in my life. In the future, AHS. At AHS, I will take advanced science and math courses, which will help me with my future career. And it'll also give me more grit and determination because I will have to work hard to pass some really hard classes. Another thing at AHS that will help me is sports. I plan to do volleyball and track and field, which will give me a better sense of teamwork and just more grit and determination in order to be successful in my sport. Beyond. I plan to go to Stanford University, which is something that's a hard achievement to do. And I will work hard to get my GPA up in high school and do sports so that I can get accepted. While I'm at Stanford studying environmental sciences, I will have an internship at a nonprofit organization in order to gain experience in my field. After college, I will start a nonprofit organization to help mitigate the effects of climate change. My dream career is to be an environmental engineer. Through this career, I will help mitigate the effects of climate change through conservation. I'll basically go into different environments in the forest, wherever, as you can see. And I will collect data from different wildlife areas and help with conservation of our planet and try to help solve our climate crisis. I will also gather data from our energy plants here in Washington State, and I will try to find more environmentally friendly ways to produce energy and dispose of waste. I will also gather data and come up with solutions for everyday problems to help improve society. Challenges. Most STEM fields are male dominated, but throughout leadership, I have gained many advocating skills, like advocating for myself, advocating for my fellow peers, and for just all of leadership class. And this will help me advocate for myself with my employer in order to get an equal pay, which also goes to wage gap. 3, acceptance rate at Stanford. There is a 3.7% acceptance rate at Stanford, which is really difficult, but throughout high school, I will work hard to maintain a good GPA while also balancing extracurriculars. Thank you.
When I was in, oh yeah, I'm Bella. Sorry. Thank you for having me here. And when I was in elementary school, I actually went to Lakewood for about 4 years. And I had earned a perseverance award in second or third grade. And this motivated me at a pretty young age to keep going because I honestly really like getting awards and being recognized for doing something good. And it really determined me to work harder because I didn't really like school and I was really struggling with all of friends and keeping, not my grades because elementary, but keeping those good report cards up. And at Haller, I joined executive council. I'm not quite sure why I decided to. It was more of an impulsive decision, but when I joined, I realized that I would have a lot of responsibility and I wanted to keep up, knowing that this is kind of gonna be my 8th grade year, gotta push through and get that determination up. And it's kind of scary so far, but the more I do and the more I talk in front of people, especially at assemblies of hundreds of students, it really motivates me more. I'm also a published author. I published a poem, and that really motivated me to work harder for what I love, which is writing. And it was really hard to publish that poem because it was a very meaningful poem to me, and it had a lot of deep emotion behind it. So to release it out for everyone to see was really hard, but I'm glad I did it because it really made me open up more. I also did sports last year. I did track and I'm thinking of doing it again this year. It taught me the importance of teamwork and again, determination. I really struggle with making friends in track because I had no one to really talk to. And I realized that I can still do a sport, get through the season without friends and still enjoy it if I put in the hard work. I also got an award this year at Heller, the Strive for Excellence award, and that made me want to do better because that was the beginning of the school year. It was like the first month of school. And that made me feel really good because school had just started. I didn't really know what to do. And starting off, that was a really good start and it made me want to do better the rest of the school year. At high school, I plan to take advanced ELA courses because I again love writing. I published a poem and I feel like that will really help me in my steps in life. I also really want to do journalism because I love storytelling, but also informing people. I want to make sure that everyone gets the information that they want to hear, while I also do what I love, storytelling. I also plan to possibly do sports in high school, and that will get me more determined because sports are important to me, at least, and it shows me like what I want to do. I also, for beyond, I want to do a internship after high school in writing or journalism. It will give me experience to the insight of professional writing. It'll help me pursue what I want to do. And I also want to take a 4-year college in something involving writing, specifically journalism is what I would like to do. And yeah, I want to be a lead author or editor. I just threw on a sweater. I want to do this because it gives me creative expression. I struggle finding ways to express myself, and writing is one of the easiest ways to do this. And I also want to inspire other people to write as well, because it makes people feel better when you pour out your feelings on a piece of paper. Also from flexibility and independence. I really like the idea of writing because it makes you feel more independent. It gives you an idea out into the world of, oh, this is what I want to do, or oh, I don't need to follow other people's steps when I have all of this right ahead of me. Also, leadership did help me with my writing. Sounds kind of weird because I did writing club last year. But how did leadership help me with my writing? It was more on presentations like these. I started writing more in my free time because I felt it was important since I had a lot of stress with leadership, and the stress from leadership made me want to write more. So that helped me. Yeah.
And so while all 6 of these students are individuals, we understand that eventually they're going to be part of a collective society and that they will all be working together to make this world a better place, which is what our ultimate goal is. And so they kind of brainstormed and thought how one day they might all come together as a collective society and work cooperatively. And so as an environmental engineer, Selena possibly will start research on the environment. Michaela will then help Selena fight against oil companies in court as an attorney. Robbie will write a film documentary on the case. Tegan, as a business and CEO operator, will then fund the documentary, allowing it to happen. Bella, as a lead author, is hired as a screenwriter for the documentary. And finally, Chase is the actress that will be in the documentary. And, oh, we have one more slide.
So thank you for supporting students to ensure that all of us have the resources and opportunities to accomplish our dreams. We are the future.
That was very well done. Thank you so much. I expect to see those high school and beyond plans fully complete by freshman year.
And be trouble.
And
maybe sitting in one of these.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. So fun. All right, next up is, and you're welcome, all family members and students. You can stay if you'd like, but you don't have to. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next up is our minutes approval portion of our meeting, and we have 2 sets of minutes. We have our regular meeting minutes from March 10th, and then our special meeting event attendance for the WASDA area meeting on March 17th. Do we have a motion? Or is there any changes anyone would like to make, or do we have a motion to approve March 10th regular meeting minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from March 10th as presented. I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Watson, seconded by Director Kelly to approve the meeting minutes from March 10th. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. Thank you. March 10th meeting minutes are approved as presented. Does anybody have any changes to make for March 17th? Or do we have a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
Motion to approve meeting minutes from March 17th.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the special meeting event attendance WASDA DA1 regional meeting minutes for March 17th. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Yay.
Director Kelly.
Yes.
Director Watts.
Yay.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Knapp.
Yes. All right, those meeting minutes are approved. And then we would have our public comment portion, but since there's no one signed up to speak and nobody in the audience, I think we can skip that. Which brings us to our very lengthy consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda? I didn't mean you guys are nobody. Just
One of us,
regulars.
one of us.
Is there anything anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda for further discussion?
No.
Review, or do we have a motion to approve consent agenda as presented?
I make a motion we approve consent agenda as presented. I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Watts to approve the consent agenda as presented. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp.
Yes.
Thank you. I guess Debbie has permission to retire. We'll miss you.
Sneak that in there.
I know, so many changes. It's the one thing we can count on. Next up is our regular meeting, new business. And the first thing is our financial highlights of our current budget. And I think Gina is going to be on Zoom.
Well, she will be, actually, you're gonna hear her recorded voice on the PowerPoint, and then I will attempt to answer some questions, or we'll wait till she.
She's on Zoom,
Okay.
but she wants us to have the presentation,
Okay.
and then if we have questions, then she can.
Yes, connectivity might be.
Okay, we'll see. Oh, can we turn Gina up? Can hear her. This is very
Do that
quiet.
over. We get a do-over.
That's all right, first time. I'm on this.
Make a motion.
We can just be super quiet.
Turn up my laptop.
Turn it up as loud as you can.
So repeat everything she said.
Echo.
Hi, this is Gina Zutenhorst, and I'm presenting to you on the financial highlights of the current budget as of February 2025. The budget reports are on the consent agenda, so a more detailed report is attached there for board review and acceptance. But here we will talk about some of the highlights as we do each month. Let's start with the positives. We have the Educational Programs and Operations Levy funding, and we have a capital levy. These two funding streams, these two separate levies, are extremely important to the financial health of the district. It also shows the support of the community in funding for schools. We are in compliance with the state-required K-3 ratio and physical, social, emotional support, PSES, staff ratios. Basically, this means we must be in compliance with certain levels of staffing that the state has set, or they will penalize our funding. You may wonder what types of staff are counted in the PSES staff ratios. There are a wide variety of types of employees that fit this. Some of the main categories are counselors, occupational therapists, speech-language therapists, physical therapists, psychologists, nurses, positions that are related to student safety like campus monitors, and other positions related to health services, such as physical therapist assistants. Again, the district is in compliance with both of these measures. Average monthly enrollment counts for the year show that we have about 75 more students FTE, full-time equivalent, than budgeted, and this generates additional revenues. And finally, we received Transportation Safety Net with our February apportionment from the state. In the recent years that the legislature has allocated funds for this, our district has been able to receive a bit of the limited funds available. These help backfill the extra costs we incur in transporting certain student groups, since those costs are not adequately considered in the state's transportation bus services model. And last, our fund balance and our OSPI financial indicators score is projected to increase for the 24-25 fiscal year. Here is the enrollment snapshot for the month of March. This report is also provided to the board on a monthly basis as part of the budget and enrollment reports on consent agenda. You can see the average in the green box on the far lower right, and it shows that we are 75.97 FTE, full-time equivalent enrollment students, more than we budgeted for. The typical trend is that our enrollment levels are highest in October, November, and then gradually decline as the year progresses. Challenges. Going back through the challenges that we have been discussing each month, many districts across the state are facing financial difficulty. Two independent sources of information outside of ourselves corroborate this statement: the OSPI Financial Indicators Tool and the State Auditor's Office Financial Intelligence Tool. Both show that districts are struggling with concerning financial indicators. State funding gaps exist for our district, most prominently in special education and in other areas such as our transportation program. Simply put, salaries cost more. Everything costs more. A big example is the cost of insurance that has more than tripled. Student educational needs are greater and more complicated than ever. We are reliant on state funding as the primary source of funds, and they are not keeping up. The district has responded to the immediate need for managing our multi-year financial outlook with a multi-year plan, starting with a substantial budget reduction for 23-24 fiscal year, and more were made for 24-25. This and other factors will help allow for a slow rebuild of fund balance. In the here and now, we are still in the low part of our fund balance. We have had to do interfund loans to meet cash flow obligations during low months, especially during the summer. And last challenge to touch on, the future of school district federal funding. The landscape seems volatile, with headlines of possible changes, and it makes for feelings of uncertainty. I don't have answers or predictions of what is to transpire, but we are proceeding with caution to continue the services we have provided. Other points of awareness. We've pointed out the increase in enrollment and how that generates increased revenues through the state's funding. But these revenues are offset by an increase in special education expenditures, at least $1 million more in expenditures through mid-year staffing hires and contracts that were necessary, some of which may be funded by special education safety net funds. The estimate of what we might get is over $1 million, but the award has yet to be fully determined. Here is our special education enrollment versus our total enrollment trend. The navy blue line with dots on it, that's our special education enrollment for 24-25 so far. You can see it's going up. The other line is our total enrollment, and you can see that trend. October, November are the highest months, and then after December, January and onward, it starts to drop back down. Meanwhile, the special education enrollment does not follow that trend. In fact, the need increases and oftentimes results in the need to add additional special education staff. Taking a look at our special education enrollment trend over the past 5 years, we have grown in special education needs, with a lot of factors contributing to that. And we are not an anomaly with this increase of special education. We are well above pre-COVID levels of enrollment for students in need of specially designed instruction. Fund balance. Here's the fund balance trend for multiple years mapped out against each other, showing where our fund balance goes down and up across the months of the year, with the highest points being when we get the bulk of our property taxes from the EP&O levy, as those collections are due in October and April, and the lowest points being where the state short pays the district's monthly allocation and then makes up for it in July and August. It shows you we're in the negative, and we went into the negative for November, December, January, and February. February's fund balance is a negative $1,233,000, and yet we are still on track to end with a positive fund balance by the end of the fiscal year, and to have paid back all of the interfund loans that are getting us through those low months. Now, to recap the interfund loans we've had to take as authorized by Resolution 2413 up to $3 million from our capital fund so that we could meet those low months. November interfund loan was $589,000. December interfund loan was $327,000. January, $344,000. February, $238,000. And this is a cumulative total of about $1.5 million. And we may not need a loan for March, and April might be sufficient to bring in payback of the loans. We will still come back to the board, probably in May, with a new request for approval of a new resolution to cover the months of June through August. Resources through the end of the fiscal year, again, are on track to be sufficient to pay back the capital fund with interest. And I will continue to report back on those interfund loans as they are taken and repaid. What's next? During the next 30 days, we have the state audit for the 23-24 fiscal year. It's underway, and they should be done around April, end of April. Further, over the next 60 days, we're closely monitoring the legislative session for impact to our school district. The session won't be concluded until the end of April. Then we can have more information on budget development for the next fiscal year in future board meetings.
Thank you, Gina, for that lovely presentation.
So are there any questions from the board?
Like she's laid it out. We're just a matter of waiting, kind of waiting and seeing.
Thanks, Gina. You're hearing us.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, next up is our approval of Ascendant LLC Public Works contract for demolition of Haller Middle School bleachers. We'd like to welcome Brian Lewis, our Executive Director of Operations. And this one is an action item, and we will ask our student advisor, Nathan Nichols, to weigh in.
Just a moment here, I need to get back into the meeting. Oh. Thank you, board. Pleasure to be here tonight, talk with you about a contract that's before you for your approval for demolition of bleachers at Haller Stadium. I wish I could be telling a different story tonight. The bleachers at Haller are great in terms of their capacity, but they have they're beyond the point of repair. These bleachers were identified in 2022. I know the date says 2023, but we were assembling all the data for the master facilities plan in 2022. One side, the visitor side, was still in a condition that they could have been preserved. One side, the home side, had been deemed beyond repair at that point. So the recommendation that was included in the master facilities plan was to demolish the home side and repair the visitor side. 2 years later, we had the architect review the condition again of the bleachers, and what they found at that time was that the visitor side had also passed over into that area where it would take very extensive work to to make it usable into the future. Now, there's more than just the current condition of the bleachers, but the bleachers also did not have ADA accessibility. And if we were going to make repairs to the structure, we would have to bring them up to code in all aspects. So ADA, electrical, and seismic were big factors in pushing the architect's recommendation to demolish both sets of bleachers. They were also constructed in such a way that they would have to be partially demolished or built in reverse to get to the areas that needed to have repair. In the meantime, oh, well, here, I'll show you some pictures, some images of the structural issues with the site. You can see pretty extensive dry rot at the base where the bleachers actually meet the ground. And these are very important parts of the structure that keep it standing upright. There's also an example of the condition of those seating areas at the within the bleacher structure that also had extensive dry rot that would need repair. So as part of the preparation for potential demolition of the structures, we also did a hazardous materials report. On the left-hand side, you can see the results from the asbestos review, and on the right-hand side, well, yes, that's correct. You can see the results of the analysis of the paint on the structure. The asbestos review, we found asbestos throughout both structures, primarily in the roofing, which would require remediation if we were to make repairs to that. And there was also throughout the structure lead paint, which is a controlled hazardous material that had been applied years ago, I'm sure, that would have been required to remove that or encapsulate it in order to be able to make it usable again. So the combination of all these factors led again to the architect's recommendation that we demolish these bleachers. I want to point out to you that that in these two pictures here, where you can see the existing bleachers and new, that's just an example. The new is just an example. It's not going to look like that. There will actually be 3 of these seating areas. There is a threshold once we get above 200 in terms of seating, where we have to do annual inspections and certifications, which are about a $9,000 bill every year. We can skip that by keeping them under a certain size. So what our plan is right now is to provide 3 different seating areas of 199 seats or less, that they'll be separated from one another. They'll be ADA compliant. They won't be covered, and they'll be mounted on a concrete pad where the current grandstand, the home side, is. This is not the end of the work that would have to be accomplished at the Haller Stadium. You can see in the old grandstand image, there's 2 light poles, one on the left and one on the right. 2 years ago, we replaced 2 light poles that would have been on the west side of the field because they also showed extensive rot. These lights are it's the only lighting beyond what we've got at Arlington High School for night use for both our users and the outside facilities users as well. I don't know if I've shared this with you in the past or not, but our facility use has exploded since the recovery, the societal recovery from COVID, and people want to actually participate in sports and in activities together. We have a constant state of use for our facilities, gyms, fields primarily. So this is an important feature to the community to have access to this field. We had the field closed since December 1st of last year to give it an opportunity to rest and do some repair. We've done some repairs on the field itself. So the last project after the bleachers, which we expect to get done in August, it's a separate project from the demolition is to replace these other two light poles. It's $40,000 to repair to replace the two light poles. The lighting structure has to be removed, electricity has to be disabled, the old pole has to be removed, the new one placed, and the lights placed back on. These poles, they were installed in the 1940s, just sort of like the old grandstand was built in the 1940s. So the district has definitely got its value from these structures. And it's time to remove them. So you can see, we did go to bid. We used a small works contract process, which we did receive the bid that you see before you tonight. We did not receive any other bids. The architect's estimate on this bid was originally about $279,000. So we were pleased that this bid came in the way it did. We think it's an indicator of the economic health of the construction industry locally. These folks, Ascendant, are well vetted. They've done work with Grant in the past, most recently at Stanley High School. We've done demolition work up there. So these are not unknown quantities. These are people that are going to do a good job for us. The architect's recommendation letter is attached to it. So that is the end of my presentation. Again, we're looking for your approval on this contract and happy to answer any questions. Yes, Sherry.
What does abatement look like when we're talking about materials like lead and asbestos? What does that, I just can't really wrap my head around what that safely looks like for
So
demo.
for exterior type of work, what that means is that we have to file a permit application with the Clean Air Authority, the Northwest Clean Air Authority. The contractor that we use for the work has to be certified in removal of the materials and disposal as certified. It's not a landfill, it's a transfer center. And that has, all of that has to be documented. That we transferred this amount of material, hazardous material on this date, and then we have to submit that. When we're done with the work, we have to submit that with the completed permit back to the Clean Air.
And is this planned to be done during school or is this out when school is out?
This will be starting next week, and a lot of the work will be done during spring break where you want students on the ground.
So you guys are good about putting placards up when you're doing sprays around the building. So I think this is pretty
Yes,
large. So we feel okay that this will be happening when the kids can.
I do.
Okay.
The work will be complete by 2 o'clock each day. The field is closed for all use during that time. There is track program operating after school. That'll be starting at 2:30, and the contractor has an obligation to make sure that the track is safe for use prior to any students. So if there's any damage that occurs during the demolition, I have to repair that or track program.
So there's nothing really in the air. I just think it might, okay, so nothing in the air, just material.
It's not the same as if it was inside of a building.
Okay, that's what I had in my mind. Okay.
Can you explain what the ADA compliance would look like? I don't think that picture was accurate to what it will be. I think you said it was gonna look a little different.
Yeah.
So can you explain how it will look different and be more accessible than what we see?
So there'll be paved access to the bleachers. There'll also be a wider spot at the bottom to accommodate anybody that's got a device that helps them be mobile.
Okay. Good question. And do you think that in the future we'll get a cover over them, or is that?
It's not in our current.
Okay, all right, thank you. No wrong answer, just curious.
I was sincerely hoping that we could preserve these things because
Yeah,
they're so large, you could, as an emergency type of event, we could use them to assemble a school.
Yeah.
So we'd have, the inside capability in the gym and the exterior capability with these bleachers, but
it's a bummer.
it's not gonna happen now. It would be millions of dollars to make this work.
Yeah.
How
Thank you.
often are the bleachers used?
How often are they used? Well, they haven't been used in 4 years. They've been closed. We've had, emergency or temporary fencing around surrounding both of them to keep people out because we don't want someone to get injured.
I remember the light, remember when you did I remember the light posts were like, whoa, that looks scary, let's fix that, I remember. You
Yeah.
brought that to the board a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of rot in those. So the other two, they weren't as bad, but they still need the attention at some point.
You know, and then the community, there may be some sentimental feelings, you know, about it being demolished.
Sure. Yeah.
There is a
Lots of
plaque
good memories.
on one of the stands, and we're gonna preserve that and install it somewhere else on the house.
Mhm. Yeah, well, safety concerns.
And we've notified all the neighbors that this is gonna happen. Is it gonna be noisy?
It's gonna be that noise, not that noisy. We're gonna do a press release tomorrow, soon. Gary and I will be putting that together tomorrow.
Any further questions? All right, this is a student advisor weigh-in time, so we'd love to hear how you would vote on this. Nothing?
Sentimental value. It hasn't been used in 4 years. And we don't have another option. You said it's millions of dollars to repair.
We haven't done a cost estimate on it, but I can only imagine because we'd have to mitigate all the hazardous materials before we could even begin making it ADA accessible, bringing it up to the level. So yeah, it would be at least, I would say at least $1 million.
It's probably in the best interest of the community, of the students, of the board to demolish the site. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone want to make a motion to approve the Ascendant LLC Public Works contract?
Motion to approve approval of Ascendant LLC Public Works contract for demolition of Holler Middle School bleachers.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Nat to approve the Haller Middle School contract for demolition from Ascendant. Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Nat.
Yes. You have your approval, Brian. I look forward to that press release and all the fun public comments, all the memories.
Face there, Karen.
Cool, of course.
So great.
Thank you.
Next up is our second reading and adoption of our board policy 5010, non-discrimination and affirmative action. And we would like to welcome up Eric Young, our Executive Director of Human Resources.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, so this policy is second reading and I think we went over some of the important changes from last time.
Yeah.
So if there's any questions that have come up since our first reading at all.
Not hearing any questions or changes suggested.
Okay.
So do we have a motion to approve the board policy 5010 non-discrimination?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of board policy 5010, non-discrimination and affirmative action. I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Watson, seconded by Director Kelly to approve for second reading and adoption board policy 5010 non-discrimination and affirmative action. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Nat.
Yes.
All right, 5010 is approved. Next up is second reading and adoption of board policy 6550 capitalization threshold for leases and subscription-based information technology arrangements, or commonly called SPIDA.
Yes, and I'm doing this for Gina. Does the board have any questions? Because there weren't any questions at the.
Yes.
And Gina, I will tell you that Gina, she really dissected this. She was meticulous and a part of it, she even rewrote, so it was perfect. So.
Hearing no suggested changes, do we have a motion to approve 65?
Make a motion to approve second reading and adoption of board policy 6550 capitalization threshold for leases and subscription-based information technology arrangements, also known as SPIDs.
It's been moved by Director Diamond so eloquently and seconded by Director Kelly to approve for second reading and adoption board policy 6550. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Yes.
Director Blatt.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Nat.
Hi.
Thank you. 6550 is approved. Next up, we have our informational items. We'll start with our superintendent's report.
First, I want to say it was a great regional District 1 meeting, and the focus was on leading with purpose, and we had several opportunities to engage in conversation with our board team, but also with other board members from across the region. Surveys went out to our community, to our students, to our staff, and as of today, and then these are open until the 31st, as of today, with students 3rd grade through 5th grade, is our first time in sending them out to them. The teachers are actually providing that opportunity to complete them in class. There's 447 that have completed them. Students 6 through 12, 931 so far. Staff 242, and families 729 so far. And this year, the windows, we're looking at a 2-week window, so we'll be sending out another reminder. Thank you, Mr. Sable, on doing that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that people are completing the surveys.
And I like they're doing before spring break too.
Yeah, they're
Forget
due
it.
the 31st by the
Yeah.
31st.
Perfect.
Next up is our legislative update and discussion. Anything you'd like to share?
No.
All right. Moving right along to comments from board members. I'd like to start with our student advisor Nichols. What would you like to share with us this evening?
Yeah, it was so much fun to have those kids come and present to us. That was a treat. I remember my Howler year. I fondly have so many memories. I wish I was involved in something like a leadership class. That sounds so inspirational. Sounds like they are learning good things, learning how to be more above the decent human beings. I'm excited for them. I'm excited to hopefully one day maybe see them on the board, maybe see what big things that they plan to. They have some big goals. I'm excited. I want to touch on a couple things that they talked about. I think it was oh, I don't want to mess up his name. It was Robbie, yeah. He was talking about recognizing student success and how it made him feel really good when he got an award for something he worked hard for. And I was thinking, received many awards at the high school level. And I felt a little bad. I'm like, oh, they are so excited to receive these awards. And they're not going to at Arlington at least. So a question that I had was, how can we continue to recognize student success with so many students? I think that's the main issue, is that there are nearly 2,000 kids at Arlington High School, and only 4 or 5 main counselors. I think that would be the job that we kind of pushed on to them. It's like, okay, you guys just have to recognize student success, and you guys get half the students, and you know. So how can we kind of break that up into a more manageable job in which students feel seen and recognized for the what they do? It's not something to be answered now. It's a big question. Next, I was thinking about we know engaging kids in doing hard and difficult things is better. It's better for their mental and emotional well-being, as well as possibly physical as well. So how can we push students to do hard things individually? And that kind of goes hand in hand with so many students. But I refuse to believe there isn't a way in which we can individually seek out opportunities to meet with students to make them feel seen and heard. There just has to be some way, and I don't know if we have enough time and effort into it yet. But that's going to be one of my personal goals before I graduate, is finding at least one way in which we can uplift students to make them feel. And again, Robbie said this idea of a lot of stress coming from the executive council, like he said. And I was trying to understand like the difference between positive and negative stress. What is uplifting and what is kind of dragging us down, and how do we differentiate between those two? I felt stress being on the board, but it was positive stress. I never felt in which like I couldn't do this. So I want to look into how maybe ask Ms. Harrington, what does she teach? Like, how does she organize her classroom in which she provides this positive stress that builds them up and doesn't push them down with too much? Just kind of curious on what she does and how maybe the high school or other school in the district can kind of use those examples. So great thing. So yeah, that's all I had. I was very excited to hear that. About the surveys that went out to the district, I asked my parents how they felt about answering them. My dad was just like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks, Dad. And I asked my mother how she thought. She's a little bit more in depth. And she was a little confused on some of the questions, which I think is pretty important to note. I think one of them specifically was, like, are you satisfied, or are you aware of like the ways in which kids are being disciplined in the school? And she goes, oh, I don't know. And I think part of that goes back to, we can't disclose what goes on, like if there's action being done. But I think there's something we can't do. Not necessarily disclose what exactly happened, but at least say, hey, something happened. We recognize that and we hear you, you're seeing. It's a big without violating, right. But as far as whether or not the parents in our community are aware of how students are disciplined and how things are being taken care of, that could be an area of improvement. Something that we can look at. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. These are in-depth questions I'm bringing you guys tonight, making your brains work. There's another thing we could, maybe it's something about the survey. Maybe it's an important question to ask still, maybe in a different way.
We're always revising those questions.
Oh, always,
Yeah.
always.
Thank you.
Trying to think of anything else. I had the opportunity of meeting with some students last week, some of my peers. And I asked them just some catch-up questions. Hey, how are you doing? What are your plans after high school? Because we're getting pretty close. And they said, I don't know. It's fine. You don't have to know everything. But do you have an idea? You go, do you want an idea? I'm like, yeah, I really want an idea. So I referred them to Miss Lisa Reno at high school, the counselor. She's amazing at her job. I meet with her almost every week. She's great. But they had no idea that that resource was available. Not only that, they didn't know that their counselors were really available to them. I asked them, like, why? Like, it's the job of the counselor, it's to serve the student, be there to help. Only one of them, it was about 6 or 7 people now. Only one of them said they didn't feel comfortable meeting with the counselor because they didn't feel seen and heard. They just like had a poor relationship. So I can't really do much about that. But what I can do is make opportunities more known. Okay. Helping students recognize and see opportunities when they're available. That doesn't mean necessarily like, force feeding them information like, hey, there's this and this and this. That might be overwhelming, but maybe trying to teach them to go out and look for opportunities, whether in their school district, and helping the bigger world wherever they go to not be comfortable with what they have, but always seeking to grow, to learn, to strive to make their environment more efficient. So I have some ideas in which I can work with ASB at Arlington High School, in which we can provide more information towards the students about what's available to them. But that's lengthy. I think I'll close it off with thanks for coming tonight, guys. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Nathan. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Appreciate you representing the students and partnering with us to help make it better for everybody. Appreciate you. Director Diamond, anything you'd like to share?
It was really cool to watch the kids from Holler tonight. And just kind of see the hopes and dreams that they have. Yeah, that's all I really have today. It was really cool.
Thank you. Director Knapp.
I agree. It's always fun to see students and recognizing that they represent, every student, this whole demographic of middle schoolers that are excited for high school and the next step. And thank you, Nathan, for speaking to your peers. I really like to hear all the work that you've been doing, so thinking those deep thoughts, and those are good questions about the awards and everything. So, we went to the District Area 1 meeting, Mary and Sherry and myself and Dr. Sweeting. And I was simply blown away by that beautiful facility, the district office that the Bellingham School District has up there, because it's the district office and also the early learning center. So it, you know, you're walking in and you see the playground for the younger kids, and it's a community center. They open it up for community members, and I thought it was amazing. It was beautiful facility, and also really great to see peers. I think talking about belonging, it's like when you see other school board members, we can kind of talk about what we've seen other districts doing. So speaking with each other, it was really cool. We went on a school tour to Weston, so that was fun to see the new desks, and always awesome to visit Weston and see their programs. Definitely looking forward to spring break. So my kids are on a countdown. And then, yeah, looking forward to our meeting with Lakewood school board on Wednesday.
Dr. Kelly, anything else you'd like to share?
Just want to say thank you to Nathan as well. It's really, you are in an important role. And then reaching out, I appreciate that you take initiative. And I think what you're also talking about is getting others to, you know, kind of have that little bit of like, not being happy with status quo, like what will I do in 4 months? You know, what are my options? And then you're being a resource for them, which is great. But, you know, we want that more in the conversation with those high school students. Like there really shouldn't be questions about, oh, that person exists, or that's an option for me, you know, like, yeah. So obviously maybe some education, yeah, the foundation level. So again, thanks for asking those good questions. Looking forward to our youth mental health forum next week. I believe that's happening. I'll be on spring break, and I'm powering through my conferences with parents this week. And it's just kind of good. I feel like getting a little further on in my career as a teacher, that I kind of feel like I can kind of come in. I tell myself it's also like holistically and looking at their student and saying, here's areas of growth, here's what I see. But I feel like it's funny when they're nodding their heads and you're like, yeah, I get your kid. Like I'm with them this many hours a day. And so it's just nice making those connections. Like you get it. You're here for my kid, you're working. So there are those blips in the road along the way, but I appreciate that they hear what I'm saying, that I'm there to make education better for their student. And I just try to convey that. But anyway, on we go. And thinking about graduation coming up, and
No.
it just spins around this time of year, starts racing, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, is that Wednesday? We have Weston, and then we have the high school. It just goes in a flurry. But I love that you guys move on, and I love meeting all the people, but it's just so hard when we let everybody fly. It'll be good.
Dr. Kelly. Dr. Watts, what would you like to share with us tonight?
Thank you, Nathan, for sharing. I think it would be really cool if you and Deja went to that leadership class and maybe talked about positive stress and negative stress. And hey, this is an opportunity for you to continue some leadership. Because I think you do a really awesome job and can be an inspiration to them. And share your story. We went to Student Voices at the high school last Friday. Super fun, a little quiet group. Then we had some talkative ones, but they have really intelligent answers, and it was really great hanging out with them. I really love that age group of high school. So I got to go to 2 track meets in the last week. I was unfortunate not to see Nathan compete. I think you're still fighting an injury, but Deja threw a discus like nobody's business. And then got to see my son run super fast, and I'm glad it was not raining or too cold on Saturday. So Saturday was fun. But yeah, I think that's all I have really to share tonight.
Thank you. I want to share that I brought all the handouts that we had at our district area WASDA meeting, and I was really impressed with the Bellingham Promise, how they do so many things in Bellingham to help reach every single student, and give them the same opportunities, whether they're at a poverty area or a wealthy area, that all the kids get lots of things. And I've spent a lot of time up in Bellingham with my Washington State PTA leadership role that I had, and I would visit some schools and I would see that Bellingham Promise in action. I was just so impressed by it. They would have all kinds of after-school activities for kids so that they could not have to be in daycare, but they would have educational experience, and they had all these really fun things that were provided at every building. And they had this high functioning, equitable way to distribute funds from parent groups across the district, and just all the things that they were doing were so incredible. And I love their Bellingham Promise that they talk about all children should be loved and how important that is. And I just love that. And one of the things that we talked about was maintaining purposeful practices for effective and nonpartisan school board leadership. And we had 3 different topics that we talked about: maintaining focus on students. And I feel like we do that really well. We're really good at that. And then fairness in decision-making. They talked about how it really helps to have a nonpartisan approach. And I think I know what they're talking about. That listening to a wide range of community voices is important. And then building trust with the community. And I thought that was the one thing that we're really working to improve. And I got some ideas, and I thought it'd be really fun to kind of maybe build that into our goals for next year. Would be more opportunities for building trust with our community and kind of partnering with them as we move forward with whatever choices we make. It was fun to go visit President's Elementary School and see little kindergartners and first graders and I think it was third graders or fourth graders, can't remember. And also Erica and I went to the civics bee at the city council on Saturday, the day it didn't rain. And it was so lovely. And there was, I think, 5 Arlington School District students that were there that moved up to the next level. And they were so impressive and so smart. And it was just really fun. There was a little opportunity you could like play along, so audience members could participate and kind of see, are you smarter than a 5th grader or 8th grader or whatever? And I was really proud of myself for knowing a couple things. But there's a lot of things that those kids knew that I didn't, and I was really impressed. And some of their essays that they presented mentioned post-middle school and how they would love to see a new post-middle school. And one of the judges was Mayor Vanny, and one of the other judges was Carolyn Eslick from our state representative and or senator, whatever she is. And they asked some really good questions, and I was just really impressed with those kids. And I would love to see them share their essays with us as a school board. I thought that would be really nice to recognize them. They're going to state in June or whatever. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And I wanted to let you know that the Skagit Regional Health Sports Med team has partnered with Arlington High School to provide free sports physicals coming up for the whole community. So neighboring districts are invited to, and it's on May 10th. So if you wanted to come hold a clipboard and check people in, there's lots of volunteer opportunities. And
Is that gonna be up at our high school, Mary?
up at Arlington High School. And it's a free service that we're looking forward to helping every kid reduce barriers for getting involved in sports. I thought that was pretty fun and excited about that. I got to help out with the band car wash yesterday, and it was not the best weather for a car wash, but I want to say thank you to everybody who supported those band kids, parents, grandparents, strangers driving by that felt bad for the soggy kids holding those soggy squishy signs and just pulled in anyway. The band was able to raise $5,000. So they wanted 10,000, but pretty grateful that we got a nice amount. And so looking forward to band concert on Wednesday too, to cheer on my little drummer boy. And then I wanted to remind everybody that there's an audit going on, and there will be another audit exit conference, is that what we call it, when it's over, and you're all invited to participate. That is all I wanted to share tonight. I appreciate the conversation about awards, thinking the same thing, that those awards make such a difference, and is there a way we could recognize more of them?
Simply amazing as a
Yeah.
bonus, and the grants.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to remind everybody about a long list of next meetings. Our next meeting that you should all have on your calendar is Wednesday, the 26th, this coming week. From 5 to 6:30 at Lakewood High School. It's our special joint meeting with Lakewood School District. That's a really fun thing. I really enjoy that we have that connection with them. Next, then we have our special meeting event attendance for the Student Advisory Youth Mental Health Forum on Wednesday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Haller Middle School Library. So that's a different location. And then we have no meeting the second week in April because it's spring break. And then our next study session and regular board meeting is Monday, April 28th. And the study session starts at 4 and the regular meeting starts at 6 right here in the boardroom. Lot to put on your calendar, don't forget. And if there's nothing else,
I make a motion to adjourn. Oh.
wait, hold on. Nathan had his hand up.
What?
I'd just like to apologize. I will have to miss the Wednesday meeting.
No problem. Thank you for letting us know.
Make a motion to adjourn. I'm just kidding.
Did you want to second her motion? to
Yeah,
adjourn?
I'll second her motion.
All right, so Director Kelly moved to adjourn and it was seconded by Director Diamond, Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque? Yes. Director Knapp? Yes. Meeting's adjourned. Have a good night.